Today in cloud gaming news, we have a little bit of Stadia, a little bit of Luna, but we're going to start with GFN Thursday, and it's quite an exciting one. If last week's announcement of God of War wasn't enough for you, well, this week Nvidia doesn't seem to be letting go of the throttle because we have a big game coming, and this time it's Lost Ark. This is the MMO ARPG that's currently doing some insane numbers over on PC. It's entirely free to play, and I honestly think it's well worth checking out if you're even remotely interested in what you see. Its 24-hour peak in terms of concurrent players at the point of this recording was 560,000 with an all-time peak of 1,324,000. The numbers really speak for themselves. I myself actually invested about 42 hours into the game, but I have friends who are approaching the 400-hour mark real fast. The fact is that there's a ton of content that you can dive into within the game. Seriously, there's a lot more than you'd expect. If you're a fan of ARPGs like Diablo, don't miss out on this. Seriously, you're gonna enjoy it. Even if you just play it through the story mode, that'll be a pretty good experience. I'm not one to be into MMOs, it's typically not a genre I really dive into, but I will say Lost Ark had its hooks on me for quite some time. Were it not for the fact that I have to make these videos, I'd probably be playing it a whole lot more than I currently am. But now that it's on GeForce now, I can take it wherever I go, so I might be checking in a lot more now. Now what makes the addition of Lost Ark even more fascinating is the fact that it's an Amazon published game. Much like when New World launched, it's now on GeForce now, and that's a really good sign to see. Much like with the deal for God of War between Nvidia and PlayStation, this sort of thing makes me very confident in the 3080 tier getting some pretty great games down the road. And if these past 2 weeks are anything to go by, well damn, I'm really looking forward to seeing what GeForce Now has up its sleeve. But Lost Ark is far from the only GFN news we have to talk about this week. There are plenty more games coming, but before we get to that, I want to talk about a pretty important update that I think is very neat to see. The newest update to the GeForce Now app actually enables GeForce Now macOS apps to natively support the Apple M1 chip. This update provides lower power consumption, faster app startup, and overall elevated GeForce Now experiences on M1-based MacBooks, iMacs, and Mac Minis. But that's far from the only thing the update brings. Members can now easily discover new games to play within the app as they've added a new genre row. Other useful sorting options include the ability to see all games available in specific regions or by device type. And yes, multiple filters can be applied to help narrow down the list. Finally, members can now enjoy an improved streaming statistics overlay that includes server-side rendering frame rates. The overlay quickly toggles through standard, compact, and off using the hotkey Control-N. Now aside from app updates, we also have a new gift for members. This week, any members can receive a heroic edition of ArenaNet's critically acclaimed, free-to-play, massively multiplayer online RPG, Guild Wars 2. It comes with a bunch of goodies such as Suit of the Legacy Armor, an 18-slot inventory expansion, and 4 heroic boosters. To make sure you don't miss out, log into your Nvidia account, select GeForce Now from the header, scroll down to Rewards, and click Update Rewards Settings. This will enable you for these rewards whenever they roll out, and you can always be on top of them through your mail. And finally, we have all the new games arriving to GeForce Now this week. Now there are a lot of games, so I'm actually just going to be going over the list and highlighting one other big release that's happening this week I recommend you check out. Normally I'd go through every new release, but doing so right now would make this video extremely long and I'd rather save you the time. So in terms of games you can expect this week, it includes the likes of Dune Spice Wars, Hollow Mento, Prehistoric Kingdom, Romans Age of Caesar, Sea of Craft, Trigon Space Story, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, which is the title we'll be talking about in just a second, Crawl, Flashing Lights Police Firefighting Emergency Services Simulator, Galactic Civilizations 2 Ultimate Edition, Jupiter Hell, Lost Ark, and Sol Cresta. In total, there are 14 games arriving to GFN this week, which is quite a significant number. But aside from Lost Ark, I wanted to make sure to point out Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. It's a brand new battle royale that's free to play, and it's surprisingly fun. To be very clear with you, I actually decided to play it while waiting for the Overwatch 2 beta drop off Twitch, and I had a ton of fun with it. And it's just one of those games that made me realize why cloud gaming is so awesome. I probably wouldn't have given this game a download otherwise, but the fact that I could play it through GFN yesterday made all the difference. I mean, after all, now I'm here telling you about it just because I had that much fun with it, and I definitely think it's worth checking out, especially when the price of entry is free. But now it's time we move on to some Stadia news, of which there are 2 topics to discuss today. The first of which is a reminder about a Kickstarter that will be launching on April 29th for Project Z. It's a World War II zombie co-op FPS. I've actually talked about it before on the channel because I genuinely think it looks pretty good. It's yet another one of those titles where the Stadia community was talking quite a lot about it, and then the developers picked up on it and added it to their stretch goals. So if you're interested in seeing this game be brought over to Stadia, be sure to check out their Kickstarter when it launches. Now the next bit of Stadia news is about a very interesting clarification from Outright Games. They're a publisher that really focuses on family-friendly gameplay. A lot of the child-friendly licensed games on Stadia are actually done by them. Some people have been very curious as to why their titles are not getting DLC packs, and well, they actually had a reply and answer for people on Twitter. It stated the following: "Hi, the thing is, releasing DLC packs on Stadia is unfortunately not part of our business plan. It has been incredibly exciting for us to release all of our most recent titles on the platform. That statement paints it as clear as day. They probably won't be bringing any DLC to their games. However, it does seem that they're interested in bringing more of their games over still. If I have to be honest, it sounds like there's enough of an incentive to actually port your games to Stadia, but to continue support is another question. Genuinely speaking, I'm not too happy about this. While it's great that people are willing to bring their games over, I feel like long-term support is only fair, especially when we're paying the same price as other platforms. I've talked about this in the past, and it really doesn't sit well with me knowing that we're going to be missing out on content patches or DLC. I'm just hoping things change in the near future." And with that, the Stadia news is done, so let's move over to Amazon Luna. Or should I say Riddle from Amazon Luna, because they're teasing the next games for the Prime Gaming channel. Apparently they sound like Most Funner, Bride Tour, Lobster Chuck Ambient Flips, and Kettle Rug Tree. Now I think Matthew Justice over on Twitter got it pretty correct by guessing that they stand for Ghost Runner, Ride 4, Monster Truck Championship, and Metal Slug 3. Regardless, I'll be sure to confirm them once they drop the news of what they officially are, but I did want to throw this in here for anyone who wants some Amazon Luna related news. As a reminder, the Amazon Prime Gaming channel is free for any Prime members as long as you're in the United States and can use Amazon Luna. It's a great way to check out the streaming service itself without having to commit to any sort of subscription cost. And that wraps up all the cloud gaming news of the day. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is simply going to be asking you for what game you plan on playing this week or what game you're working through currently. Myself, I'm probably going to be busy with the Overwatch beta, but I totally see myself getting really hooked on Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. The game seriously surprised me with how fun it was to play. Let me know your choice down in the comment section below. I look forward to reading it. As always, thanks for watching. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.